it's Cathy Cress, and I am back with my YouTube channel, Geriatric Care 1, and we are doing a whole new playlist, which is holidays with the meltdown of the aging family, because that's usually when, you know, all the children gather, and adult children, and the turkey burns, the apple pie, if it's not a pumpkin pie, they all hate it, but the apple pie is not there, has no sugar, etc., etc., etc. The table's not set. And we've dealt with two types of families that are going to call you during the holidays. One was the proactive, nearly normal family. The second was a long-distance family. And now we're getting to what I call the heart of darkness, which is the dysfunctional family. Why do they call? Well, let me count the ways. They were never, you know, they don't know how to handle this at all. The proactive family really did. The long distance family usually, you know, they anticipated this crisis. You know, they didn't know when it was going to come, but it came during the holidays because they, you know, they see their mother or father. Usually people gather. But the dysfunctional family, you know, they don't see any of this coming. You know, when mom burns the turkey, they're just pissed off. Or they're, you know, or they get drunk. That's, you know, a usual thing. They, you know, take a bottle of Valium to even go, and it's like, oh, really? Because they were never taught to give and receive. They don't really, you know, because actually their parents probably didn't give them much, and so they don't really know how to receive. And the holidays are anathema to them. Usually dysfunctional families remember the holidays with horror. Horror! Dad was drunk. They don't know how to work as a team, because a dysfunctional family is usually pitted against each other because there was so little love in the nest. They had to fight to get any love at all. They've never experienced a normal ritual, and I talked about that earlier in the beginning. Every single ritual at every single transition in this family has been marred. When a baby was born, nobody helped. If it was twins, the village never showed up to help anybody. If there was a marriage, somebody was, of course, drunk at the ceremony, the parents didn't help, or if they did, they want to be paid back, you know, immediately. I mean, you know, they just don't know how to give and receive and do rituals. And you know, they don't even, a ritual of, you know, having to care with the aging parent, that's like, oh my God, having holidays? No. So there are three, I'm going to talk about the kinds of roles in the dysfunctional family. First of all, there's somebody called the preserver, and that person is always comfortable with the status quo. They hate change. You know, most of us hate change. These people really don't hate change. So facing, you know, the parents' meltdown, they're in complete denial. They've always been in complete denial. And if more care is needed, which, you know, eventually if there's a holiday meltdown in mom, you know, they notice real changes in mom, the preserver does not want to change anything. They kind of freak out. So they're already your problem. Then there's the victim, next type of family member. And they never got enough love. That nest, you know, they were always put to the side. They're the runt dog because they didn't get to, you know, well, mom probably wouldn't nurse anybody, but, you know, if she did, that little runt never got much nursing. The victim usually is very angry because if mom is breaking down on the holidays or breaking down at all, they're not getting attention, and mom is, and they don't like that. They like to be the victim. Unfortunately, their victim behavior at least gets them some attention. You know, think of the child that doesn't get a lot of attention and they scream and yell and have a temper tantrum. Lots of times it's not just because they're two, it's because that's how they could possibly get their parent away from the phone, the iPhone. I watched that yesterday where I get coffee. I stared, I glared at the mother. She walked out. Then, the last type of person is really the super reasonable in the family. And they they're called the organizer, and they moved out. They're usually the oldest child. The oldest child usually gets out of a dysfunctional family. Everybody else gets stuck, and it's called the manager, and that person tends to organize everything except ever take care of mom. And so, because they've never been able to provide any emotional support, they are numb. That's how they dealt with dysfunction. And it's really normal in lots of ways because the pain was too much for them. And so when mom starts to melt down, they will call you. They're usually the one that gives you a call as a geriatric care manager, but they don't want to care directly for mom. There's all sorts of anger there, which is very true for everybody. So there's some of the roles in the dysfunctional family that you're going to have to face. And if you want to go back in the YouTube series, the playlist 10 gives you much more than I've already said about the dysfunctional family. And so we're going to do them in the next episode. And always go to my website, cathycress.com, and you can sign up for the whole webinar that I'm going to be doing on November 18th. Thank you.